What's going on, YouTube? Uh, was at work, saw this article, and knew I had to do a video on it because this is just. I know I say like every single article I read is so fucking insane, but they constantly like up the ante on how crazy they are. And this one is just the pinnacle of fake news. You know, this just is add this to the list of organizations that run fake news. Just the title has nothing to do with what actually happened on the ground. They make up all this false rhetoric and cater it to their narrative, and then they publish it as fact. You know, so here we go. So, okay, that first name, Rhiannon. Like, how do you say that? Okay, you know, like Rhiannon, Lucy Coslet. Okay, what a mouthful. God damn it, I have a long last name. This photo sums up Trump's assault on women's rights, and it shows Trump signing a document with a bunch of men looking around. This order that he wrote prohibits the U.S. from giving money to organizations around the world that provide abortions to the local population. Now, U.S. giving money for abortions overseas is already illegal, but this doesn't allow the U.S. to give money to organizations that do other things besides abortion. So if they do all these different services and one of them happens to be abortion, the U.S. is not going to give them money anymore. So this batshit dumb fucking woman, Rhiannon Lucy Coslet, who odds are makes a lot more money than me, has a nicer car, lives in a nicer neighborhood, has health care, you know, all these different things that make up privilege. She's talking down to me and saying, the summary of this video in a nutshell, that since the U.S. is not giving money to non-Americans overseas for abortions, that, in her batshit crazy mind, means Trump is assaulting women's rights. I mean, just what the fucking hell are you talking about? You are saying that since another government, like if you live in Mexico, for example, and the U.S. is not going to pay for all your medical services provided by this organization because one of those services happens to be abortion, that means the U.S. is assaulting my right. Just, I cannot believe that she sits there with a straight face and writes this fucking shit. And much less The Guardian fucking looks at it and say, yep, this is good to print. We're going to put this on the website and we're going to print it. You know, like, these women are so fucking entitled that they think that medical services is a right that they are owed, an inalienable right. They think they should, it's like any right guaranteed by the Constitution, like Second Amendment or First Amendment or Fourth Amendment. You know, that they think abortion is that fucking important. Their right to kill some other fucking human is just as important as freedom of speech. Now, let's just get this out of the way. I believe that abortion should not be used. Abortion shouldn't be used unless in case of rape or incest. All other instances, it should not be used because I believe that it is killing a life. I have looked at the science. I've taken college level science courses. I have seen the fucking cells. I've seen the science. Life is terminated when you do an abortion. That is my belief because I've looked at the science and that is what I believe. That is what science backs. So I believe it should only be used in case of rape or incest where the woman did not choose to get pregnant. Now, if you're some god stupid fucking bitch who can't keep her legs closed and gets pregnant and just goes to the abortion, you know, and just kills another innocent human being who's done nothing wrong because you're a fucking idiot, no, I don't believe that. It's different in case of rape or incest where the woman didn't have a choice in being pregnant. But so now the feminists, the Democrats, are going to come after me and say, well, you want to cut the services that these organizations give, which include contraceptive, that prevent a baby being born as a result of sex. In which I say, if you don't have the money for contraceptives, then don't fucking have sex. I know that is just a mind-boggling new conception that you can go a certain amount of time without sex. I know that is mind-boggling for these women who want to have sex every fucking 3 minutes. But I don't see a reason why the U.S. should pay for other women's contraceptives and abortions in other countries. It's different. This is not even talking about Americans. That's a whole different argument, a whole different discussion about whether the U.S. should fund contraceptives, family planning, abortions in the U.S. for its own American citizens. That's a completely different topic that we're not going to discuss. I'm talking about the U.S. spending money that it doesn't fucking have because we are. Oh, let's just look at the debt clock, that is currently running. You can look this up. I'll give you a link that keeps in real time how much the U.S. is in debt. We are $19.9 trillion in debt. That's rounded up to 20 million. Hey, you can get the iPhone app for it. So a fucking country that is $20 trillion. Let me try it again. A country that is $20 trillion in debt has no business giving millions of dollars to other countries, which is none of its fucking business, to fund medical services and abortions for other people. I mean, it's just, you take a map of the world, you know what the president's concern is? The fucking U.S. You know what is not his concern? Every single other fucking piece of land. Trump's looking at it and saying, we have no business funding these things overseas. We are $20 trillion in debt. These people are not American citizens. We don't owe them fucking nothing. The U.S. taxpayer owes them fucking nothing. So why are we funding it? And that's why he wrote this new bill that said reimposing the global gag rule, removing U.S. funding to any overseas organization that offers abortions. But these feminists, these Democrats, are so fucking goddamn brainwashed that they think that getting an abortion is a human right, that they are inalienably owed. Can you imagine the entitlement that must go through their fucking heads to think that I have the right to kill someone else? And not only that, but the U.S. government should fund it. See, this isn't a question of offering abortions versus not offering abortions. In some countries, abortions are flat out illegal. No, this is an issue of the U.S. government paying for it. So can you imagine the entitlement, some goddamn stupid bitch in some random ass country, Brazil for example, who's sitting there and saying, the U.S. is not going to pay for this medical service that I want. Don't need. Want. That means they're assaulting my human rights. I mean, can you just imagine how batshit crazy you have to be to think that some government thousands of miles away owes to pay for your medical bills? I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Just the fucking first paragraph. Look at these men. Look at them. Gathered around the most powerful man in the world. Blah, 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 blah. If there was a woman present in this room, as if such an order is being signed along with two others, she is not included in the shot. Okay. Women are being represented in this photo, even though every single person in the photo is men. Now, how is that possible? Because, I know this is like a newsflash for you fucking retards. Women can vote. Women can vote to who represents them. And women overwhelmingly vote for other men. For whatever reason, go ask them. I don't know because I'm not a woman. But these people have been elected by the U.S. people, which are half women. Women voted for these people to represent them in office and enact the policies and the rules that they want seen implemented. So women can be represented even though every single person in this particular photo is a man. The reverse is true. In some matriarchal other dimension, men can be represented even though every single person in that photo happens to be a woman. I mean, I cannot be so closed-minded as to think that another woman could not represent my views as a libertarian. There are plenty of women libertarians. If one ran for office, I would vote for her. I would rather vote for her, even though she's a woman, because she represents my political views, than some other man who's a Republican or Democrat. I mean, this is not rocket science. I don't care what genitalia you have. I care about the policies and actions that you want to enact. And women have voted for these people in office, and now they are doing what they said they're going to do. You don't have a right to other people's goods and services. To be so fucking entitled is to think that we're not even getting a discussion of whether you think abortion should be legal or unlegal. Illegal, that's the word I meant to say. That's a totally different argument. What we're talking about is the U.S. funding it. Like, I think I have the right to get a root canal if I have a cavity. Okay, in a normal society, I would hope that the government does not restrict that service because a cavity really fucking hurts. But it's a whole different subject. It's to say, the U.S. government should take taxpayers' money, other people that they worked hard for those money, it should pay for my root canal to alleviate my pain. You know, they should pay for it. I don't should pay for anything. Just how fucking entitled do you have to be to think that? I mean, it's just, that is a liberal mindset. You know, the government owes me all of this fucking shit, and it should be paid by other people's hard work, and I shouldn't have to pay for any of it. Let's see what other dumb shit has this fucking article. I mean, it was just the first fucking paragraph I saw. I mean, it's just like, I cannot believe that she equates with government-funded services as her inalienable right. I mean, the cognitive disconnect that must be in her brain in order for that to be true is just mind-boggling. What do any of these men know of women? You know what? Why can feminists write about masculinity and boyhood and men reaching adulthood? Why can feminists write books and lectures and all that stuff about something that is 0% women? But as soon as men write a piece of legislature that involves women, suddenly that's not okay. These men have the right to write legislature that affects women's bodies because guess what? Roughly half of the fetuses that are killed by you fucking psychopaths are male. So there's that. You know, not all of these fetuses happen to be women. It's not solely a women's issue. People think abortion is a women's issue. No, it's fucking not. The person in that woman is a 50% chance of being a man. There's often a male involved. A male who impregnates a woman should have a say in whether that fetus is aborted or not, because that is his child too. I mean, these people are so fucking narrow-minded that they actually think that this entire issue is my body alone. No. There is a fetus, there is a living person inside you, so that is someone else's issue too. Not just you. I know you're so fucking self-centered, such a narcissist that you think that's only your problem. It's fucking not. This fetus, who cannot voice itself, needs someone to defend it because it cannot, because it's only hours or days old, because you couldn't close your legs, and now you want to kill it because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the problem of raising a child, putting it for adoption. Oh, well, then you should have kept your legs shut. I mean, goddamn. You know, I know it's really not fucking hard. I know in your mind it's not really. It's really hard. It's impossible. Because nowhere in this article to say, well, women who just can't afford to have an abortion just shouldn't have sex. Or can't afford, like, abortion is really expensive. So if you can afford contraceptives, then you can avoid that issue. You can't even afford that, then you're so poor that you can't afford contraceptives. You want some other government to pay for it. How entitled do you have to be to think that? What's stupid is she thinks that it's only religious people that are against abortions. Okay, you know what? I am 0% religious. I don't believe in anything. I don't believe in any religion. I don't go to any service whatsoever. I believe abortion is murder. Why? Because of the fucking science. I know this just goes over the heads of feminists because they don't care about science. They care about their fifis. The science shows that it is murder. It is killing a human being, and that's why I don't agree with it. I will compromise that it can be used in instances of rape and incest, but even then, I believe it's murder. I believe that's not fair, because it's not the fetus's fault, it's not the small human being's fault that this happened, but I'm willing to compromise to that extent. Now, Democrats and radical liberal feminists want a woman to get abortion anytime they want, any stages of pregnancy, no matter what the circumstances, and to be government funded. They don't want to pay for it. They're just, fuck that. I don't want to pay for that. I want to pay for my other shit that I want. God damn. No, to finish off this article, it is the bottom of the article. It says, since you're here, we have a small favor to ask. More people are reading The Guardian than ever, but far fewer are paying for it. Because it's bullshit. Because it's fake news. Why the fuck would I give you a fucking dollar when all you post is goddamn bullshit? Just complete fake news. Taking away a government-funded service to some other people that are not under the government's control whatsoever is not an assault on your rights. It is not assaulting women's rights, and you fucking know it, but you want to contribute to the narrative that Trump is taking away women's rights, so you just slap this label on this article, and then the liberals and the Democrats and the feminists would just read this article, and they won't even look at the actual facts in the article. They will just read the headline, Trump is attacking women's rights. They'll share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, and just promote the narrative, and that's how fake news is spread.